Hello everyone, this is the study guide for the novel The Vendor of Sweets by R.K. Narayan. Plot: Jagan's life and beliefs. Jagan, a widower, runs a successful sweet shop in Malgudi. He is a follower of Gandhian principles, leading a life of simplicity and honesty. Despite his success, Jagan is not driven by materialistic pursuits and adheres to a strict ascetic lifestyle. Mali's rebellion and ambition. Mali, Jagan's son, is a college dropout who is disillusioned with traditional Indian life and education. Seeking a different path, Mali travels to America to pursue his passion for writing. Jagan, although initially resistant, finances Mali's trip, hoping it would benefit his son. Return of Mali. Mali returns from America with his girlfriend Grace and a friend named Jason. He introduces Grace to Jagan as his wife, which shocks Jagan, as their marriage wasn't conducted in the traditional Indian way. Mali also presents his business idea of producing story writing machines, seeking investment from Jagan. Cultural and generational clash. Jagan struggles to accept Mali's lifestyle and ideas, which represent a stark departure from his own values. The tension between father and son escalates, highlighting the generational and cultural gap between them. Jagan's inner conflict. Jagan grapples with his son's choices and his own principles. Torn between his love for Mali and his adherence to traditional values, Jagan faces an internal conflict that challenges his beliefs and way of life. Climatic confrontation and resolution. The novel reaches a climax when Mali is arrested for living with Grace without being officially married, a transgression of Indian laws at the time. Jagan is faced with the decision to bail Mali out. In a moment of introspection and realization, Jagan decides to withdraw from the material world and entrust his shop to a cousin, choosing to embrace a life of spirituality. Themes: generational conflict, clash of values. The novel vividly portrays the conflict between Jagan's adherence to traditional Indian values and Mali's pursuit of modern, westernized aspirations. This generational clash is central to the story, reflecting the broader societal tensions between the old and the new. Impact on relationships. This theme also explores how generational differences impact familial relationships, particularly the strained bond between Jagan and Mali. Cultural clash. Traditional versus Western influences. The novel delves into the tensions arising from the intersection of traditional Indian culture and Western influences. Mali's actions and choices, influenced by his time in America, starkly contrast with Jagan's traditional lifestyle. Adaptation and resistance. The theme examines how individuals and societies respond to cultural change, highlighting both adaptation and resistance to new ways of life. Search for identity. Personal struggle. Both Jagan and Mali are portrayed as characters in search of their identities amidst a rapidly changing world. Their journeys represent the struggle to find one's place and purpose in a society that is evolving. Conflict of self and society. The theme also reflects the internal conflict individuals face when their personal identities clash with societal expectations or norms. Materialism versus spirituality. Jagan's transformation. Jagan's transition from a successful businessman to embracing a more spiritual life underscores the theme of materialism versus spirituality. His journey represents a quest for deeper meaning beyond material success. Contrasting worldviews. Mali's materialistic pursuits, in contrast to Jagan's spiritual awakening, highlighting the differing worldviews and priorities between the two generations. Father-son relationship. Complex family dynamics. The novel explores the complexities of father-son relationship, showcasing the love, misunderstandings, expectations and disappointments that characterized Jagan and Mali's interactions. Reflection of societal changes. The evolving relationship between Jagan and Mali also reflects the broader societal changes and the impact of these changes on family structures and relationships. Characters. Jagan, embodiment of tradition. Jagan, the protagonist, is a conservative sweet vendor in Malgudi. He represents traditional Indian values and is deeply influenced by Gandhian principles, embodying simplicity, honesty, and a spiritual outlook on life. Conflict with modernity. Jagan's traditional ways put him at odds with the changing world around him, especially with his son Mali. His character highlights the challenges faced by those who strive to uphold traditional values in a rapidly modernizing society. Mali, symbol of westernization. Mali, Jagan's son, represents the new generation that is influenced by Western culture and modern ideas. He rejects the traditional values and lifestyle of his father, seeking a different path that aligns more with Western modernity. Pursuit of new aspirations. Mali's character illustrates the aspirations and conflicts of young Indians during a time of significant cultural and societal changes. His actions and choices are a source of conflict in the novel and serve as a catalyst for exploring themes of generational and cultural clash. Grace, representation of Western culture. Grace, Mali's American girlfriend, symbolizes Western culture and modernity. Her presence in the novel accentuates the cultural differences and challenges of cross-cultural relationships. Contrast to Malgudi's society. Grace's character provides a contrast to the traditional society of Malgudi. Her interactions with Jagan and other characters bring the theme of cultural clash to the forefront. Other characters. Residents of Malgudi. The other characters, including the residents of Malgudi and those who interact with Jagan and Mali, contribute significantly to the novel. They offer diverse perspectives on the changes happening in the town and in Indian society more broadly. Enhancement of themes. These characters enrich the narrative and themes, providing insights into various responses to cultural changes, generational differences, and the impact of modernization on traditional communities. Symbolism. Sweets. Tradition and heritage. The sweets in Jagan's shop symbolize the rich cultural heritage and traditional values that Jagan upholds. They represent more than just a livelihood. They are a manifestation of Jagan's commitment to the principles he cherishes, such as simplicity and honesty. Contrast to modernity. The sweets also serve as a counterpoint to the modern Western influences embodied by Mali and his aspirations. They highlight the conflict between preserving traditional ways and embracing new, often foreign ideals. Story writing machine. Modernity and innovation. The story writing machine that Mali wants to develop symbolizes modernity and technological innovation. It represents a new way of thinking and living that is starkly different from the traditional methods and values embodied by Jagan. Clash of values. The machine also symbolizes the clash between the old and the new. It becomes a focal point for the generational and cultural conflict between Jagan and Mali, representing the broader tension between maintaining tradition and pursuing progress. Malgudi, microcosm of Indian society. As in many of Narayan's novels, the fictional town of Malgudi symbolizes the quintessential Indian town. It represents a microcosm of Indian society grappling with challenges of change and modernization. Setting for cultural interplay. Malgudi serves as the perfect backdrop for the unfolding of the novel's themes. The town, with its traditional setting and slow-paced life, contrasts with the new ideas and changes that Mali brings from the West, highlighting the societal struggles in adapting to these changes. Literary devices. Irony. Contradictions in actions and beliefs. Narayan uses irony to highlight the contradictions and inconsistencies in the characters' actions and societal norms. For instance, the irony in Jagan's life is evident in his dedication to Gandhian principles of simplicity while running a successful and profitable sweet shop. Outcome versus intention. Irony is also evident in the disparity between what characters intend and the outcomes of their actions, particularly in the case of Mali and his aspirations. Foreshadowing. Hints of future events. The narrative includes subtle hints and indications of future developments. This device is used to foreshadow key events in the characters' lives, particularly regarding the evolving father-son relationship and the impact of Mali's choices. Building suspense and expectations. Foreshadowing in the novel helps to build suspense and set up expectations, keeping the reader engaged and curious about how the story will unfold. Imagery. Vivid descriptions. Narayan's use of imagery brings Malgudi and Jagan's sweet shop to life. The detailed descriptions create a rich and immersive setting, allowing readers to visualize the scenes and feel embedded in the town's life, enhancing atmosphere and mood. The imagery is not just visual but also evokes the atmosphere and mood of Malgudi, reflecting the cultural and emotional landscape of the novel. Characterization. Depth of characters. Narayan provides deep and nuanced characterization, especially in the portrayal of Jagan and Mali. This characterization allows for an exploration of their inner conflicts, motivations, and transformations. Complex relationships. Through detailed characterization, Narayan effectively explores the complexities of the father-son relationship, the generational gap, and the clash of cultures and values. Narrative style. Simplicity and clarity. Ease of comprehension. Narayan's narrative is straightforward and uncluttered, making it accessible to a broad audience. The simplicity of his prose does not diminish the story's depth, but rather enhances it, allowing the themes and characters to shine without being overshadowed by complex language. Direct storytelling. The directness in storytelling keeps the narrative focused and engaging. Narayan's clear prose guides the reader smoothly through the plot and the inner worlds of the characters. Subtle humor. Light-hearted tone. Despite dealing with serious themes such as cultural conflict and the generational gaps, Narayan's style often incorporates a subtle humor that adds a light-hearted tone to the narrative. Satirical elements. This humor is frequently satirical, gently mocking societal norms and human follies. Narayan's wit provides a contrast to the more serious elements of the story, offering a balanced and enjoyable reading experience. Empathy, understanding of characters. Narayan's narrative style is imbued with empathy. He portrays his characters, especially Jagan, with a deep understanding and compassion, allowing readers to empathize with their struggles, aspirations, and conflicts. Humanity in storytelling. This empathetic approach adds a layer of humanity to the story, making the characters' experiences more relatable and poignant. Cultural richness, reflective of Indian society. The narrative style is rich with cultural references and nuances, offering insights into Indian society and the human condition. Narayan's storytelling is deeply rooted in the cultural context of Malgudi, providing the reader with a vivid portrayal of life in a traditional Indian town. Structure, linear progression, chronological unfolding. The narrative follows a linear chronological progression. This straightforward structure allows the reader to track the evolution of Jagan and Mali's relationship and their individual journeys in a clear and logical sequence. Development of conflict. The linear structure is effective in gradually developing the conflict between Jagan and Mali. As the story progresses, the differing values and aspirations become increasingly pronounced, leading to a heightened sense of tension and emotional complexity. Evolution of relationships. Initial setting. The novel starts by establishing Jagan's life as a sweet vendor in Malgudi and his traditional way of living, setting the stage for the introduction of Mali's contrasting ideals. Introduction of conflict. Mali's return from America and his subsequent actions introduce the central conflict of the novel. The linear progression allows Narayan to explore the complexities of this father-son relationship as it goes through various stages of strain and reconciliation. Individual journeys. Jagan's transformation. Throughout the novel, Jagan's character undergoes significant transformation. The linear structure effectively captures his journey from a businessman deeply rooted in traditional values to a person seeking spiritual fulfillment. Mali's Western influence. Similarly, Mali's journey from aspiring writer influenced by Western culture to his eventual confrontation with Indian laws and societal norms is depicted through the linear narrative. Building toward resolution. Culmination of tension. The novel's structure builds towards a climax involving Mali's legal troubles and Jagan's decision regarding his future. This culmination provides a resolution to the primary conflict and marks a turning point in the lives of both characters. Conclusion. The novel concludes with Jagan's decision to embrace a spiritual path, reflecting his internal transformation and resolution of his conflict with Mali's modern aspirations. Effectiveness of structure, clarity and coherence. The linear progression provides clarity and coherence to the narrative, making it easier for the reader to understand the development of the plot and the evolution of the characters. Engagement with themes. This structure also allows Narayan to engage effectively with themes such as tradition versus modernity, the generational gap, materialism versus spirituality, and the complexities of familial relationships. So this was the study guide on the novel The Vendor of Sweets. We will meet in the next video and discuss some other novel. Until then, goodbye and thank you.